Why hello there, fellow shipbuilders, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Bounty Hunter. Episode 7, Repairing the Newly Bolted On Expansions. At the start of the stream, as you can see in the top left, the priority is to piece together enough parts to compressorize this compartment. Now, before I do that, there's one other thing I would like to do, which is, and let me take off the visor. I'll go to damage default so that I have a little bit more light. We still have a lot of non-mobilite stuff in the center here, and then everything behind is technically non-mobilite. I am not going to endeavor to fix that right now. Maybe at a future date, but not right now. But what I would like to do is to add this as pressurized. The reason I want to pressurize this section is we can sleep in it so that it can become our sleeper. And then if we don't sleep in it, instead what we can do is we can lock bounty hunted targets in it. So it serves two purposes. So for that in mind, I want to install the mobilite walls in this section here. These like grid-like walls. And I fully know that we're at a point where like most of this ship is like absolutely super falling apart. And then not only that, but Maris is also pretty tired. So my intention is to, because we're at a ship that has the proper walls. Where are you going, Maris? We're at a ship that has the proper walls. Oh, you know what? She's probably taking a drink. Here, I'll just grab my own water and freshen up. I want to use this ship for its walls as much as we can. Now, with that said, there's nothing necessarily stopping us from coming back here, but I'd rather just do a whole bunch of what we need to do now rather than to make a follow-up trip later on. All right, you can keep the flask on you. That's fine. All right. So we're getting tired, and I just want to bang out the rest of this rebuild and then head back to K-Leg and sleep at K-Leg. It will be a little pricier to sleep at K-Leg, but it's not like money is a bit of a big issue right now. In fact, I can in advance prepay a bunch of my mortgage. So I just prepaid like 30,000 of the 50,000 or 60,000 on the mortgage. And my guess is once we sell all the stuff that's back here, once it's been restored, we will be able to pay off our entire mortgage in like 2 days. I can't imagine working so hard that I could like pay off a house in 2 days. But that's like more or less the speed that we're going at. So we need one, let's see, install hull, the mobilite floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 26, 27 mobilite floors. Got it. I just, because it's mirrored, I can count one side and then double it. If that math confuses you, this is not the game for you. Just need a big enough whale? Yeah. Or like just efficient picking apart of pieces. I'm not going to necessarily say that we got like a ton of whales. Like, I would actually say that like none of the targets we've had so far have been like whale-like, but they've been sufficient. So 10, 20, 25, 26, 27. All right. Cutting the visor mode off. Orders, cancel. Don't bother with that. And now... Oh, that's weird. The install orders never went through. I swear I was clicking, but the game was like, no, you weren't. Come on, Maris. What is your malfunction, Maris? There you go. So I'm putting down the floors, and then I'll put down walls. So we'll need 27 walls, which means I'm going to need the dolly again, and we'll do 16 walls, and then another 11. A car loan would be a closer analogy. Yes. Well, yes and no. More like a RV, like a camper van, would be a closer analogy. Because this isn't just a vehicle. I intend to sleep in here. So if I intend to sleep in here, it's more than just a car. It's a houseboat, if you will. Yeah, like a houseboat. Maybe that's the best analogy. All right, there we go. So that part's done. Let's pick up the dolly. I'm going to uninstall this wall so I can go east-west, or I know it's not really east and west, but move around a little bit more easily. Calling this thing a dolly is technically correct, but it also feels too soon, if you know what I mean. All right, so that's 11 walls there. And then we'll do a full dolly's worth afterwards. So hall, mobile light, space systems, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't think I'm going to bother with the cables. Because, yeah, I could call left port instead of, and right starboard. I don't think I'm going to bother with the cables. Because cables are really common, you can find them anywhere. It's the mobile light stuff that is rare. And DeJarko, Mr. DeJarko, thank you for the resub. And Dom, cheers. Ooh, party foul. Ooh, hold on, just spilled some coffee. Not my coffee, no. Somehow I can't count to 11 or something. I don't know really what happened there. Where I had to grab more walls. Oh, it's a 4. Right. Okay. No, I only had 9. I literally can't count. Good. Good job, me. Speaking of which, in the 1.0 release of this game, they did fix the coffee vending machines where they get restocked. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16. And cancel. I'm not certain those walls are even actually mobile light. I can't see them at the moment, so I'm just going to do only in this section. So then, of course, this is so that we can enclose that back section. And the reason to enclose this is... this could become like a sleeping compartment or a prison compartment or something. I want the option of it becoming one of those things rather than, leave all this mobile light stuff behind. How's our tools going? Fine. Any grinder really putting in the work. Glad about it. Alright, sticking the visor back on so I can see what I'm doing. And Cinnamon Knight, thank you for the resub. I don't know how to interpret your message though. A message of anguish. So I'm missing some extra walls. I'll just uninstall them manually. There's no point in issuing individual orders. And yes, these weren't mobile light. My intuition was correct. I didn't think they were. The way this ship is the 4 wings are mobile light, and then the central area is Roka. Except for some of the bathroomy rooms are still mobile lights. Can you take coffee machines now? I don't know if you can take them, but they do get restocked, so they're not glorified cabinets. Where you drink a certain amount of coffee, you build up a nice addiction, and then all of a sudden you can't source any more coffee. Honestly, I never really drank a lot of coffee in game, because much like Project Zomboid that briefly had a ridiculous caffeine mechanic, I couldn't really get behind the whole caffeine crash, because I don't feel caffeine crashes in real life. I don't feel like they are designed well in game, when my coffee wears off, I'm not bleh. I don't know. That's not how I've ever felt. But a lot of the games interpret it that way, and it's like, don't do that. You go back to normal when coffee is over. You don't, like, die of exhaustion. Unless you've been slamming it down, like trying to infuse your kidneys with beautiful beverage juice for like an entire day. Been there, done that. Back in my MMORPG addiction days. Where it's like, alright, new game's coming out. So line up, 3 days supply of caffeine. And tell my family goodbye and I love you. I mean, granted I wasn't like, didn't have a kid back then, so I could afford to do it. But still. And if you're wondering if I'm, like, locking myself in here, yes, I am. It's fine. I'm aware. Okay, so now it's a single compartment. And it's all walled up. And I think we are due for a bit of a nappy nap back at K-Leg. So bye-bye, Bodie McBoatface. Maybe I'll make a note to myself. What is Bodie McBoatface's call sign? It is M7PT. Shut up, Legal Dreams. Alright, so home. Notes. M7PT has mobile light walls and orange floors. If I ever need them. Better to have the note, I suppose. Maybe I can get some repairs done on my way back. That was the intent, is to just like auto-resolve some repairs. I'll always be grinding. And speaking of the way back, it is, it's not close. We floated, I might not even be able to get back to M7PT, because it floated, like, way the hell away from K-Leg. Wow, and my thrust-to-weight ratio is very different now that I've added all this parts to my ship. So I'm moving, we'll be there in, like, let's go 100. I'm going to lower my thrust-to-weight ratio and, like, get my... go dead on. Bearing to 0 and... or near 0. Yeah, it's good enough. Okay, so 1 hour, 47 minutes, and I'll speed up at some point, probably. Wait, why aren't you auto-tasking? Auto-task. Excuse you? As your tools aren't dead. You're just... refusing to work. Oh, I did turn off repair, didn't I? Roster. Restore parts. Oh, and also, now that we have no air, replace batteries. Okay, visor damage for old red. So we have some parts that are like... most of the conduit's pretty good, except for the conduit right here, maybe. But like, there's some parts here that are just like toast. Because I wasn't careful about like cherry picking the best parts when stripping Bodie McBoatface. I just grabbed what I grabbed. And the reason why I'm not going faster back to K-Leg is like, if I'm way out here, I'm pretty far away from my comms console, my nav console. What am I playing, RimWorld? My nav console. So I don't want to be like flying back to K-Leg super speed and not be able to get to the helm if I'm colliding with something. Gosh, the condition? Yeah, the condition is bad. In fact, you know what? I think it would be better if I restore the things I intend to sell first. Which I don't really need visor mode for that. Well, I'll go damage, but like no gradient so that it's lighter. I'm also down to like not a lot of Bingham suit battery. As you can see, this is 44 charge and this has 45 charge. So I wouldn't be able to stay out much longer anyway. Just because I'm running out of you know, suit batteries. Can you work on your ship while you're traveling? That's literally what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I was just on the outside like a moment ago. It's because your ship isn't because the ship isn't under active acceleration. There's no problem with it, right? It's not. I'm not accelerating, so if I leave, I'm just floating alongside of it. The same way that like astronauts leaving the ISS don't. I mean, they usually are tethered, to be fair. But they don't have to be, because, like, the ISS isn't going to drift away from them. Not unless the ISS, like, triggers some RCS maneuvers while someone's outside. Which would be, like, super dumb. And probably no one ever does that. I would very much hope. It's probably never happened. You thought I was accelerating? No, I am not accelerating. So I don't need to do this because, technically, I did allow the auto swapping of batteries. I permitted it, but I'm, doing it anyway. To answer one question I got on YouTube, the cartridges themselves in the PDAs cannot be restored. So, the cartridges themselves are, like, immutable, but the nav console stuff can. So if you want to if you're really strapped for cash, and you want to make a few extra bucks, or you're worried that, like, one of your nav consoles, is really low in its durability, and, like, one light tap of a crash, and you're going to lose it, you can always, pull out these individual pieces and restore them. But the PDA stuff, as you can see, my power and price, yeah, I can blow dust out of it, and that's all I can do. Like, that's it. It can't be restored for extra money. So you are entirely at the mercy of finding, oh, don't uninstall. High durability ones when you want to sell it. All right. I have not, in a while, looked at the nav map. How are we doing? So K-Leg's probably going to be on the other side of Ganymed by the time we get there. And now that all the stuff that I want to sell has been restored, except for the O2 tanks, which I don't really care about, and the PDAs themselves, I don't care about their durability. It's the cartridges that are worth a lot. I'm just going to start auto-tasking. How am I blowing dust out of it when I'm in vacuum? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe with a tiny little, like, Swiffer, the feather duster thing. I don't know. Maybe magic. Frickin' magic. That's how I'm doing it. Alright, back to... That's horrible looking. Old red. So the stuff I want to sell back... Oh, you know, there's actually a Halverson thruster that, you know what? I want to install this. I added a lot of mass to my ship, and, you know, it's, I would say, arguably maybe like 3-4 times the size that it was. I'm definitely going to want to keep up with its thrust to weight ratio. I don't really care about, like, the rating that the game says it has. I'm not trying to get, like, the A+ rating, because, like, an A+ rating for a ship is an obscene amount of thrusters, like, truly an obscene amount of thrusters, like 50 thrusters for, like, a medium-sized ship. It's really stupid. I don't know why it's like that. Maybe because, like, race ships are, like, the standard or something. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, being able to do, like, quick reaction maneuvers are still pretty important. And I'm in my overlay here just to make sure I don't smash into anything on my way back. Do I even have an additional N2? No, I don't. But I have 91% of my current gas can. I only have one can, but it's not likely that I'm going to need more because I've used 9%. Oh, we're still restoring the PDA. Fine. The reason I'm not stopping myself from restoring the PDA is like it's still technically leveling up my skills as a restorer of things. So it's like, whatever. So the additional thruster doesn't need a container for more power. So the thrusters use nitrogen gas hooked up to the intakes, but you don't necessarily need a specific ratio of intakes to thrusters. So this thruster is already on and plugged in. So I've essentially doubled the amount of thrust I have available to me. Oh, did we swap the battery? Did it? I must have just auto-swapped. But I did not double the amount of intake gas. Only double the amount of actual... Oh, God. Okay. Thank you, Proximity Alarm, for alerting me. Was gonna... That's not an impact that is survivable. Slamming into a planetoid. Or a dwarf planet. Is Ganymed a dwarf planet, or is it just an asteroid? I think it's... I don't know. Either way, slamming into it would be bad. All right, let's aim for here. I don't have a point of reference right now, so whatever. It's fine. But I will say, this is looking nicer and nicer and nicer. Alright, pretty soon, I'll be able to do a transfer burn to K-Leg. Let's hop on that nav again. I probably can't do it right here. It's a moon, but it's bigger. No. This isn't Ganymede like the Galilean mood Ganymede. This is Ganymed. 1036 Ganymed. Like, it's really unfortunate it has the same name. But Ganymede and Ganymed are separate things. So I'm not talking about Ganymede, the Jupiter moon. The Galilean Jupiter moon. This is and I made that same mistake when I first started playing Ostranauts. Because I thought this was Ganymede, not Ganymed, and it's super, super confusing. I wish this was like orbiting like Ceres or something, and not Ganymed. 1036 Ganymed is a stony asteroid with a highly eccentric orbit, classified as a near-Earth object, discovered in 1924, named after Ganymede from Greek mythology, which really doesn't help things at all, because, you know, we already have a Ganymede, which is stupid. But, yep, that would be the story. There is Jupiter in this game. This takes place in Earth's solar system. So you can go... what locations are at Jupiter? I don't know. Locations... I'm trying to think of, like, what takes place in around Jupiter. All right, let's hop back on that nav again before I get too distracted. Okay, so we can make our approach now. Cool. Let's go do that. Poor Maris here is, like, way absolutely overtired. Because I know there's Titan, which is Saturn. I'm just trying to think of what takes place on Jupiter in-game. Yeah, but Titan is in the game, Venus is in the game, prominently, Mars is in the game, Ceres is in the game. Oh, I don't have a headache anymore. Great. I have no idea why I had a headache in the first place, but I'm glad it went away. So Jupiter, there is... I don't know what even takes... Port Nuevo is at Jupiter, and Atlantis is at Jupiter. Okay. Actually, you know what? One easy way to answer that question is this. So, if I hit out, here is the map, and here's Jupiter. So let's do tracking mode target. And here is Jupiter. And if we zoom in, we can see that there's the Port Independence, and then the JATL landing zone, and the JPTN Port Nuevo. So yeah, Jupiter is there too. And Saturn with its Titan. And then you can go all the way into Mercury too. And it's worth noting, like, most of these locations are not fully incorporated into the game. There's only a few locations in the solar system that I would say are fully fleshed out. Like Ceres or Venus or K-Leg, you know, Ganymede. There's a lot of them that are like kind of placeholders for like quest locations and not much more. Okay, our repair speed is going up and up and up. We're up to like 10x for some tasks, which is great. And I might as well just focus on parking. Why is the outside of the ship dark when the sun is right there? I mean, the sun is not close. Like, Earth is pretty close to the sun, all things considering. When you get out to, like, Martian level orbit, sun's kind of weak. Like, super weak. Like, solar panels barely work out in Mars. And then beyond Jupiter, it's like, forget it. Permanite. Just about. Okay. Well, we're here. Before I go into the station, I do want to revisit my zone. Oh, Barton Hall zone looks perfect-ish. There. I needed to update it, but like not by much. I am planning on selling everything here. I'm not going to keep the sensors or anything like that. Everything will go. I'm also going to bum air off of K-Leg. Even though it cost me more money, it's fine. I like how I'm like, open the door, and the door was like, no. I probably don't need to be running around with a spear. I'm not a reaver, so let's not do that. And my license is up tomorrow at 1. So yeah, my license is fine. Before I forget, let's go ahead and do fuel and power. Done. And then start selling stuff. Oh yeah, the amount of air I'm bumming off of K-Leg is like setting off some alarms here. Wait. I'm gonna revisit the zoning, because this should not be in the Barter Hall zone. Oh, and it perfectly is. Let's fix that. Did I take my helmet off? Yeah, okay. Alright. Here we go. The big sale. So this PDA had a lot of nice data on it. It had a $6,000 worth of files. And then the cartridges were 2K each. That's really nice. The other one had the same file, so cool. And then the mass cartridge is 1K. I'm not gonna keep one of these canisters. I'll like find other canisters. It's not a problem. And there we go. That's money. Prepay mortgage. All of it. I owe nothing. I owe nothing. And it only took me like, what, 4.5 hours? That's right. And I still have lots of money left over. Okay. Is that a lot or is it average? It's average for an experienced player. It could be a lot more. It could be a lot less. So I don't think I'm likely to find a laser sold here, just because they are very, 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 very rare now, which is fine. I'm gonna check anyway, but I fully understand that the likelihood of me spotting one is low. I also could check for compression leggings too. Why is it so cold in the station? No, it's probably my fault. Alright, we want to go to sleep. That much I know. One thing I'm going to do is check on the bounty board. I'm not ready just yet to take on bounties, but I'm curious if they've changed. Nope, all three are the same. So we have a wanted dead or alive, wanted alive. And the wanted dead is Eric Stark. That's the one that we're going to easily be able to do, because wanted dead means you don't turn him over anywhere. You just like snap a photo and go, ha ha, you're dead. More or less. Another thing we're probably going to want to... That is a lot more money than I'm already... So I do want a towing brace, and the reason I want a towing brace is if I am doing aggressive boarding against enemy targets or bounty hunting targets, being able to tether to their ship and then steer their ship around is going to be really important, so that they don't crash. They don't go smash or whatever. So yeah. All right, let's switch around our batteries. I'm going to guess that's not even my battery, but I did leave a battery in there. So now I put 2 batteries in there. Chances are the NPCs will take it, but they're just not worth enough for me to fret about that. And then, even though it's a little bit more expensive, I'm going to go to sleep here on K-Leg. And then tomorrow, I'm going to head out and try to pressurize my cabin. These are not comfortable beds, and I already have insomnia. Oh, it worked. Okay, it is... One nice thing that happened in this latest update is it's underlined for when the time is, so you don't really have to figure out what time it is. It will just tell you. You don't have to look down here. It's just be like, it's 9-ish. All right, so we're scheduling some sleeps. Go. Then we'll do water and food. And because I did pay off all of my debt, I'm gonna not do trenchers. I'm gonna do some street kebab food. I deserve it. I have 22 hours left on my salvage permit, so I don't really need a new one just yet. Quantum, thank you for the resub. And cheers. I know batteries drained in my EVA suit. I'm aware. Pointing out the obvious to me is less useful than you think. Plus, I have like the whole no backseating tag on very much for that reason, because there's very little about this game I don't understand. And if I don't, I can always just ask you. Or viewers in general. Alright, what I'm doing here is, switching backpacks because at some point, running around with a bag that looks like it has survived some sort of catastrophe becomes embarrassing. But what I'm going to do is, like, Maris storage. Eventually, it's wise to have, backpacks for spare parts and stuff. I'm not quite at the point in the game where, like, I want to start collecting spare part bags and the like. I have a backpack for it, but I'm not trying to fill it or anything. But at some point, when I need to maintain a whole bunch of systems, I'll endeavor to do that. So now I have a not covered in blood bag, so it's not, you know, like a disease source. Re-up my power. And pay the air exchange and docking fees. My batteries are both still here. So I'm going to put my almost dead one in there. I'm also going to buy one more battery over in the supplies. Like 3 batteries to 1 oxygen bottle is probably roughly the right ratio, I would say. I'm a little worried about how cold I made K-Leg. No, it's not that bad. All right, so let's start closing these gates. And then head back out to the boneyard. And at least for now, it looks like K-Leg is airtight. I might have jinxed that, but we'll see. So, reminder, the priority here is to try to get parts to be able to pressurize my ship. So the full list, if you're wondering what that look like, we already have the O2 can and the N2 can. I have a smoke alarm, but what that would be is like a heater, a cooler, oxygen, that kind of stuff. I also might flip this around, and we're also going to want a door too. So there's a whole bunch of like stuff we're going to want to accumulate in order to feel like we can live in this thing. So we don't have to just like perpetually dock at K-Leg every time we want to take a nap. Let's try this thing, this vessel. Would you still be welcome at the station if it calls a blowout? Yeah, the game's not, like, smart enough to acknowledge that, like, accidental player sabotage isn't, like, something it's going to keep track of. And then the kiosks themselves aren't NPCs, so if everyone on K-Leg died, it's still operable. It's just less than ideal to have everything be messed up. How many hours do I have in this game? Kellyan's nearly right on the money. A few hundred hours in the game. But yeah, your estimation is like really well informed. I'm impressed. Your Fermi guess there is impressive. Another reason to buy new bags is when you track damage, it's unless you put your bags in a bin or something like that, it's going to show the bags as like super broken, which always immediately in the like primal part of my brain makes me think, oh god, like I have some horrible damage, but like that's often not true. It's just the bag is screwed up and you can't fix the bag. So we are at VMV. Cool. Let's hope it has stuff. Come on. Wow. Okay. I'm here live. I'm not a cat. I'm not convinced. That sounds like something a cat would say. Okay, there is a MHD that's broken, a cooler that's damaged. I did want a cooler. There's bins, of course. Lots and lots of bins. But that, and maybe a Kang? Yeah, a damaged Kang. So, this is a hunk of junk, but I could at least put some pieces to good use. As per usual, I'm going to do bin search for... Oh, hello. Some bin searching first. And maybe what I'll do, now that I'm trying to restore stuff, is like slowly collect spare parts. So we got like some scrap carbon fibers and aluminum and stuff. Because, yeah, if we're trying to put our ship back together in some sort of meaningful way, we're going to need that stuff. Should have grabbed my other bag. And I'll just keep doing the bins. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Bounty Hunter, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow bounty hunters.